我们刚刚看到欧债各国在这个礼拜所有全球对冲基金的供给之下，它的公债率呢都大幅的上升，而这使得欧洲国债的规模在本周又有了新的改变。我们来看意大利，意大利呢本来是1.6兆。结果经过这一段时间，整个政治的动荡跟公债殖利率大幅的攀升，那么现在呢，意大利的国债已经正式登上了1.92兆，接近2兆欧元的情况。西班牙呢已经是6600亿欧元，希腊已经攀升到3900亿欧元，而希腊现在的公债殖利率高达33.409%，等于是一个形同破产的一个国家。那么我们特别要来关注的一个问题就是，到底整个欧债的危机最后会不会在2012年无法撑下去，而将全球拖入了一个经济的大衰退？一般现在的看法，如果欧债真的完全全面的危机不可控制，它对全世界的经济影响远超过 Lehman Brothers 倒闭。但是有的人比较乐观的认为，欧元区不至于让这个事情发生，但是也没有办法完全的说它一定不会发生，可是一致的看法说，一旦它发生，全球2012必然是一场比2008年更大的衰退。今天我们特别为你整理2位重要人士的看法，第一位是投资界称为股神的巴菲特，另外一位是 Dallas 的美国 Fed 联准会的主席 Fisher， 他们2位们分别如何来看待欧债跟美国债务的看法。先听一下巴菲特的见解。
They have a situation that where they found a kind of a fundamental flaw, which is that they can't print money, and when you have a loss of confidence, that begins a run which has occurred to some degree on both sovereign debt and banks over there. And it's in 2008 we had our own run in the United States, and it took the full power of the United States and some very strong action, the ability or the belief that the authorities would do whatever it took. And we did believe that, and it let us out. But it's not clear who can say we'll do whatever it takes over there and that they've got the ability to do whatever it takes. It's going to have to become much more clear as to who can do what and that they will do it, that they need both the will and the ability. The world is seeing the line getting a little longer, and that means, people react with emotion, but emotion becomes reality in a situation like this. So I would say that they're doing some things, and Europe's got all kinds of strengths. I mean, Europe is not going to go away. 10 years from now, we will be selling more goods and buying to Europe and buying more goods from Europe, and they will have more GDP per capita. But getting from here to there may be a problem.
巴菲特对整个欧元区的看法是，他认为欧元区不至于崩解，那么应该呢10年后欧元区的状况会维持稳定。问题是如何从现在走到10年之后。另外一位呢是 Dallas 美国联储会 Dallas 的主席 Fisher， 他的见解，由于最近呢全球的避险几乎投资人都是转向了美债，包括连中国大陆在9月的时候，本来呢在8月的时候他们是卖美债的，在9月份开始增持了113亿的美元美债，而躲欧债危机呢，外资在9月的时候也是大幅买超美债，创下了13个月来的新高。那么所有的数据都显示，全球的投资者都大量的增持美债，来作为他们整个资金的避风港。但是美债我们刚才也为大家在世界周报整理，已经高达了15兆，只是美国有印钞票的权利。而更危险的是，如果明年欧债危机爆发，将冲击美国的经济，那么有人预期呢，美国明年就会祭出了 QE3， 不管对美国的经济有多大的帮助，至少美元跟美国的债券是可能在资产上是汇率是可能会下跌的。我们来听一下 Fisher 如何谈欧债以及美债的问题。
We're innocent bystanders here. We're separate authorities. They have their charter and franchise, and we have ours. So other than the swap lines that we provided for dollar demand, and that's to facilitate dollar-driven businesses around the world, there's really nothing we can do but cajole them, advise them, if asked, and give them the best advice that we can. I'm not going to say a word about default. I do note that they have put a very good friend of most of us at the Federal Reserve, Papademos, in charge of their government. They're turning to technocrats. They're doing the best that they can. They're in a very difficult predicament. They do have to work not just with the ECB, not with just the Stabilization Fund and Authority. They have to deal with the bond market vigilantes. And this is a powerful force that you cannot escape, whether it's those that decide to buy sovereign debt or the debt of the banks that finance the sovereigns. And I think it's very, very important that these new technocratic governments and the people they represent demonstrate to the bond markets that they're serious about getting their houses together. This is a very good lesson, Felicia, for our own politicians. This could happen here easily. No, I'm not saying a level. I'm just saying that we have been the beneficiary of being the best-looking horse in the glue factory, as I've said before. We've seen a rush into dollars. It's not such a pretty factory. So they ought to put us together back as the best-looking stallion or the most beautiful filly. There is good news surrounding this. At least, A, they're talking about it. B, they've seen the consequences of what happens with European nations that do not impose fiscal discipline. And C, they know that the Federal Reserve has limited powers. I work for the Federal Reserve. On either side of the aisle, none of them can possibly expect that monetary policy will bail them out of the fiscal hole in which they have dug themselves. We're reaching the point where decisions have to be made. They're going to insist. This is what the last election was all about. And whether you are an Occupy Wall Street type or a Tea Party type, the message that's been sent is social unrest will ensue unless you guys get your act together.